Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Northblood, and welcome back to the New Japan save. I've been cranking out the New Japan content. I'm really just loving the save app. We're in the thick of the tournament, and if there's one thing wrestling fans love, it's a good tournament. Obviously, I'm included. The New Japan Cup, I love. The G1, I'm gonna love even more. So I'm just excited to get the tournament done. I wish I could say more. There's so much I want to say about what I've got planned for this save, but it would ruin the surprises. So I'm just trying to get it out as soon as possible so you can appreciate what I've got going on, or what I'm trying to achieve with this save. I've got a fair bit of admin stuff to go through before we get into the action, but this episode will be a double header, so two nights of action. Much like the last video, just to get out as much content as I can. I'm still only able to put out content at my parents' when I'm in my new place. It might go back to the single night videos, but for now, 2 nights of action in one video. More bang for your buck. The first spot of admin stuff is, if you've seen the last few videos, we have had issues with getting viewership or popularity in Oceanic and Canadian regions because of New Japan World is considered tiny. And thanks to the comment left on last video by Wyon, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right at all, but I'll show you the comment now. He says you can upgrade an own broadcaster, which you very much can, in the investment options. It's gonna cost a fair bit of money, but you may as well do it. I'm gonna first of all increase Mexico because we've got none in Britain and Mexico, which is slightly worrying because we've got a British show coming up. I say coming up eventually. How much money do we have? I'm going to drop this down. This is going to be expensive. Europe, yes. To get it to tiny. British Isles, yes. Get it to tiny. Mexico, yes. I wish this would go down as I'm increasing this stuff, but Canada we do need to increase, yes. Oceania, I pronounced that wrong, but whatever. We're losing money per month because of how much it's costing. This might not even do much, but it helps out for now. And then when we get a bit more money, we'll come back to this, increase it more. But at least now I know that this exists and we can upgrade New Japan World. It kind of makes what I did in the last video a little bit redundant. We signed new deals in Japan and Oceania. I didn't need to do that, but whatever. We're just trying to get some more. We're trying to get rid of the red note at the end of every show. They'll probably still show up because it's not gone up by that much, despite the money we've pumped into it. This month is probably going to be a loss in terms of money for the save, but as long as it's not worryingly a lot, I'll say as long as it's not. We're down 2 million, I believe. And half of that money's gone to Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm not very financially stable. That being said, I cut this part out with the videos, but every show we've done so far has made money. So it's the admin stuff that I'm doing that's costing me the money. So it's on me. If I cut out bonuses and all that, then I'm probably doing just fine. Another thing that I really need to do is, as you can see here, a lot of people have morale issues, which is a bit concerning. And I figured out last time it stems from Katsuyori Shibata being head of talent relations. If I go into I can't get Shibata there, but if I go into the roster section, Katsuyori Shibata is happy at the moment, but I'm not sure where it is. Personal details, maybe. He's a very controversial backstage figure with all of these guys. He has a problem with, some of which I have no idea why, because he's got a negative opinion on Chris Ridgway. Chris Ridgway hasn't even been on his show yet. He's got a negative opinion on Marshall Von Erich. Marshall Von Erich has been on one show. Trey Miguel been on one show, and he already has a bad opinion on them. I'm not sure what it is with Shibata on this save, but he just comes across as an arsehole. I know he's had his backstage issues with New Japan in real life, but I didn't realize it was going to be this severe in the save, which is bad because we've got him in a hot storyline with Kenta at the moment. So we've got to figure out something, because it's the more he stays here, the more we're going to piss him off. He's got a written contract for another year and a half, so we can't exactly just fire him, and I don't want to just fire him. So I might just send him on excursion to AEW. In fact, you know what? We're going to see if we can. I'm not sure if this will work because of the whole popularity thing. AEW won't be happy with most people because Shibata won't have too much popularity in America. We're just trying to SEMA. We could get SEMA back. We're just trying to find someone who we could do something with, even if it's nothing major. I know someone who I'd want to do the swap, but I'm not sure if AEW would be down for it. No, they would not. If that's the case, we'll try talent swap, see if they'd be down for that. I doubt it, but Shibata for the bastard Pac. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so biased towards Pac because I'm from, in case you can't tell from the accent, I'm from Newcastle. It's the reason why my name's Northblood. I'm a northern boy, born and raised. I've trained with the people who trained with Pac when he was coming into the business. So I'm so overly biased. It's nice to see a Newcastle born bloke. It's big in the world of pro wrestling, and he's a hell of a talent. So I'd love him in New Japan, but it's not going to work. So we're just going to send Shibata on excursion to AEW. You could send him to Rev Pro, but I feel like AEW is the way to. Oh, damn it. I didn't take this into account either. Bollocks. We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out with Shibata. We will. I promise. But he won't be in the company for much longer. He'll be on our books, but he won't be showing his face on New Japan shows. And it is done. I'm surprised we haven't made the news. I was looking down here for something to do with us, but we're not there. It really is a shame, but after all the issues Shibata has caused, after the backstage morale being dreadful, just because Shibata's existed, we tried to find the solution, as you've seen. We tried to send him on an excursion. He wasn't happy with that. We tried to get him traded. It wasn't going to work. So we have had to, unfortunately, release Shibata from his contract. It really does suck because I am a big Shibata fan, but at the same time, I'm not going to sacrifice the entire save just for one guy. Yeah, it sucks, and I'm sure he'll sign with one of our competitors, which sucks even more. But it had to be done. We have also had to, because of the eagle-eyed viewers amongst you may have noticed that we had. Oh, that's not meant to be there. Apologies. The eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that Shibata had a deep friendship with two people, those being Hiroki Goto and Kenta. And let's just say they weren't too pleased about Shibata leaving, so I've had to pay them handsomely as well. I had to pay a fair bit for Shibata to be released from his contract, and then I had to pay Goto and Kenta some money so they wouldn't get angry. But Kenta and Goto, they're still irritated. They are classed as irritated, but they aren't a flight risk. They aren't just going to fuck off. And Shibata, the one causing all the issues, is gone. So we move forward. A stumbling block, one that greatly affects our plans. But we've got to do what we've got to do, so we're doing it. Anyway, that's a lot of admin-y stuff at the start of this video, and some bad news to start this video. But let's get into the action. Let's get into what you all came for. Let's get into the second round and night 5 of the New Japan Cup. So here we are, all the admin stuff out the way, finally into the action, and we're kicking off, obviously, with a pre-show bout with two guys we are trying to establish. Brian Pillman Jr. taking on Doki. Doki getting the win. Obviously, the more established Japanese star. It only makes sense for him to get the win in this match. Doki really improving with a 41 rating. Maybe we judged him too harshly from the last one, but we will definitely take it. Brian Pillman, I feel like he's getting worse. Doki getting better, Brian Pillman getting worse from the last run out. But if Doki's hitting 41s, we can start bumping him up to the main card. Reason why I've got him on the pre-show is simply because I didn't think he was good enough. He's proven that he is. So maybe soon enough he'll be joining his Suzuki-gun stablemate on the main portion of the show. But Brian Pillman definitely has a fair bit of work to do. Next match, we've got the makeshift tag team of Gabe Kidd and Hiroshi Tenzan taking on Aussie Open with the kind of put together tag team defeating Aussie Open in around 12 minutes. Hiroshi Tenzan, getting the win, obviously being the most established star, carrying the match in terms of in-ring performance. He was on a 50, everyone else floating around the 20s and 30s. I believe this might be Gabe Kidd's first. No, it won't be. He was in the New Japan Cup, the first round of the New Japan Cup. But we're getting some young guys run out. I want to start doing this. You see the young lion and the veteran pairing obviously happens quite a bit in real life. I feel like these two go fairly well together in terms of style, so that's why I've put them together. I'm trying to work out veterans to pair the other young lions with, just to bring them out the shell, to get them more exposure, put them in a tag team with an established star, and the established stars can carry the match. The young guys can get some airtime. But that's just, this is the prototype. We'll see how it goes. If you can think of any of our young lions that we can pair with stars, feel free to comment, and I'll definitely consider it, because it's the surefire way of getting the young guys ratings up a bit. But we've got a shortened pre-show today because the main card was taking a little bit longer. So we've only got 2 matches on the pre-show. That is the pre-show done. This match probably wasn't the greatest, but it's on the pre-show for a reason. Next up is the main show, which is introduced when Chris Ridgway takes on Yuji Nagata in our usual technical match, with Yuji Nagata, obviously the more established star, getting the win over Chris Ridgway. And we were expecting more. Chris Ridgway, I swear he had a better rating last time out, which sucks. But both guys seemed off their game, so they could be getting up. Yuji could be in the 50s, Chris Ridgway could be in the 40s. It's not the best way to open up a show, but it could definitely be worse. Usually our technical masterclass matches are a highlight of the show, so the fact that this struggled is not a good sign. Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna be optimistic. The rest of the show is gonna go off without a hitch. I'm gonna gaslight myself. Next up, see, it's all good. We're all good with the Bullet Club pairing of Carl Anderson and Bad Luck Fale, a kind of throwback tag team to the years gone by of the Bullet Club, taking on Chaos, the pairing of Hiroki Goto and the young gun, Will Ospreay. Carl Anderson, Bad Luck Fale beating Chaos. Will Ospreay, oddly enough, I called him the young gun, head and shoulders above everyone else. Bad Luck Fale was lagging behind. We kind of expected that. Carl Anderson, he had a really good, the first match we brought him in on, he done really well, and his ratings kind of slowed down a bit. I swear he was in the 60s on his first match, and now he's mid-50s. But it's all good. We tried to implement a Carl Anderson creative finish. It didn't work, but the match was still fine. A 62, continuing the Chaos Erupt storyline. This is obviously the storyline involving the Bullet Club trying to get in the heads of Chaos members. Will Ospreay benefited from having a hot new move. Interesting. Very interesting. After this, we have our first match of the New Japan Cup today. Taiji Ishimori taking on Kanemaru. I forgot last time, I think I forgot anyway, to put in the New Japan Cup brackets in the video. I greatly apologize for that. I promise to remember to put it on this video. It should be up on the screen. If not, I'm a dickhead. But Ishimori getting the win. Both junior heavyweight guys, both guys that we have big plans for, and Ishimori's killing it. Kanemaru, solid as ever. It's a fairly solid junior heavyweight match. Definitely want to keep an eye on, because the best of the Super Juniors is coming up in, I believe, 2 months' time. So if we can get ratings like this for the Super Junior tournament, it could go well. This match, a bit better. A wild brawl, great heat, and decent wrestling. Seeing Tomohiro Ishii defeating Togi Makabe. Big fan of both of these guys, by the way. Both of these guys very underrated. Obviously part of the New Japan Cup. Ishii with a 66, Makabe with a 56. Makabe in his big age, still getting a 56. Hell yeah. And a good match. We didn't need to have a wild brawl on the show. I figured it just works for these two guys. With Ishii advancing, getting another win in his column of the New Japan Cup. In another New Japan Cup, a rather unique one with the size of Toru Yano taking on the kind of speed of Hiromu Takahashi. Speed wins in this encounter, with Takahashi advancing, defeating Toru Yano in around 16 minutes. A little worse than the last match, but it's all good. It's only by 1 rating. Takahashi with a 76. Hell yeah. Especially what we want out of our junior heavyweight champ. Toru Yano with a 50. A reliable bloke. Crowd hot and rising, ready for the main event. I believe it's the main event next. It should be. The main event, obviously, also going to be a part of the New Japan Cup. I'm not going to lie, I'm booking this, and I said I've got big plans for storylines and whatnot. There are a few guys who I could have winning the New Japan Cup. I still haven't made that decision yet. But we'll see. We'll see how the next match goes. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's a 71, a great match, but it could have been better. You see the red markings? It's I've done it again, haven't I? I'm such a dickhead. I'm gonna get into the match soon. The match dragged at the end. It was way too long to keep an all-out pace going. I've done it again, meaning to press the slow build and accidentally pressing the all-out pace. I really need to, you know what I should do? I should record myself booking this show once. Not to put in the video, just to look back, because I swear I pressed the slow build option, and it went all out. I'm not tripping. But that's besides the point. Minoru Suzuki versus Kazuchika Okada. Minoru Suzuki kind of shocks the world, defeating Kazuchika Okada in a match that had time, 24-minute match by stoppage. Obviously part of the New Japan Cup. Okada with a 75, Suzuki with a 70. However, that's not all we've got going on. It says Minoru Suzuki won by stoppage. The way this match is going to end, Minoru Suzuki has got Okada in the kind of rear naked choke. Okada the ref asks, do you give up? Okada's, no, I don't give up. I'm fine. He's fighting through it. And then a Chaos branded towel is thrown into the ring. Will Ospreay, who is at ringside for this match, throws in the towel to save Kazuchika Okada from being choked out. The ref calls off the match. Minoru Suzuki wins, and Okada is out of the New Japan Cup because of that towel throw. It says handle changes. No. Will Ospreay is ready to turn heel. It sucks because we're not ready for Will Ospreay to turn heel yet. But it says he's ready, so we will turn him heel. It was a complete success. However, just ignore that for now. It sucks that that's happened, because that was meant to be a bit of a surprise. But that changes the end of the show. This was going to be Okada being consoled by Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay kind of helping Okada to his feet and whatnot. That is not the case anymore. If Will Ospreay is turning heel in the last segment, we're gonna fucking go for it. Okada is knackered. He's down and out on the ground, head in his hands, and Will Ospreay stood behind him in the kind of corner of the ring. Okada kind of sits up a bit, and then bang, hidden blade elbow from Will Ospreay, turning heel fully on Okada. That towel throw was not to save his skin, that was to screw him over. And Will Ospreay has turned on Okada. It doesn't reflect it in the segment. The segment isn't the best, but Will Ospreay's struggle going off script, I don't care. We're speeding up the process. This wasn't meant to happen now. It's meant to happen later on. But fuck it. Will Ospreay, bang! Okada down and out for good. Will Ospreay stands over his mentor's body, the guy who brought him in to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Will Ospreay picks up the Chaos Towel that ended the last match, that cost Okada the New Japan Cup, and puts it over Okada's face before getting the fuck out of Dodge. This wasn't meant to happen now. The last few minutes have been made up completely on the fly because Ospreay was meant to turn on Okada later on in the month. I can reveal that now. The game obviously wanted that to be sped up, so let's speed it up. It's happening right now. It may as well. Okada, we didn't want him to just bow out of the New Japan Cup for no reason. We kind of wanted an excuse for him because otherwise he would have complained. This is his excuse. Ospreay turned on him, throws the towel in, pretends it's to save him, to save his skin. It's not. Ospreay is a full-on heel now, much kind of like he did in real life. Overall rating, it was a very solid show, 69. Everyone loves 69. This show increased our popularity in 8 regions. Can we find out what those regions are? No. Would have gained popularity in the US, Canada, Mexico, Britain, and the Oceanic regions, but restricted due to limited number of viewers there. We're just gonna... I know I've upgraded them earlier on in the video, but it's still not enough. We'll just have to live with this for now. But this shows that our shows are good. We just need the pathways to get more people to view these good shows. It's whatever. We're getting there. I'm really excited for the storyline, some of which are happening too fast. But it is what it is. This has been a major show with a major plot twist. This has been a very dramatic episode so far, and it doesn't stop yet. We've still got one more night of the New Japan Cup left, which is coming up. Will that live up to this night? Let's get into it. And so, night 6 begins. Obviously, back in with a couple pre-show matches. Both pre-show matches don't really have any... They don't have any spice to them. There's nothing really going on. Just getting some young guys airtime. We've got Theoman versus Chris Bay. Chris Bay really off his game with a 27. I believe he was in the early 30s last time. Theoman defeated Chris Bay in 11 minutes, kind of a throwaway match. Both very young guys in 2020. Obviously, Chris Bay, a bit confusing why I would give the win to Theoman, but Chris Bay isn't really established at this point. I believe he's only 1 year into his career. So it didn't really seem right to give him the win. He will obviously pick up some wins later on down the line, just not yet. We do need to build him up, especially if he's on 27 rating. In a much better match, we've only got 2 matches in this night's pre-show. We've got the Von Erichs defeating Kotoge and Yoshioka. Both fair new tag teams. I would be expecting Kotoge and Yoshioka to do better because they're obviously Japanese wrestlers, but the Von Erichs are pressed very much in their last run out. And in the same in this one, Seiki Yoshioka getting the ratings up there. He must have just had a bad night last time because I was expecting more from him the last one. He's done okay this one. And the Von Erichs in the 30s, when they never, this is the second match in Japan, will take it a 42 rating. These 2 teams must gel well. Ross and Marshall tag team specialist bonus. Yoshioka and Kotoge have teamed before in Noah. I think it was Noah or Japan. It was another major promotion, but obviously that's not in the database, so they don't get the tag team bonus. If they did, that match could have been really fucking good. But a 42 to end the pre-show. When Omada did, the Von Erichs are coming along really well. Obviously, we have them in the Foundation stable. I'm not sure if I've went through this yet, but bringing in the new guys that we have got 2 new stables. The Rascals, obviously consisting of the Rascals, or MSK, as you might know them. So Desmond Xavier, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz. Just a 3-man brotherhood. A babyface junior heavyweight lot. Not too much to say. They're just going to be the baby faces in the pre-show matches, and we have the Foundation featuring Davey Boy Smith Jr., the more established star, the Von Erichs, and Brian Pillman Jr., all 2nd generation or 3rd generation or 4th generation or 5th generation in terms of Von Erichs. They come from legacy families in pro wrestling. So I figured put them together. All of them, I believe all of them, have ties to Japan. Family ties to Japan, that is. We won't get into the Von Erichs family tie to Japan because we're not depressed these days. But it's a shame. If you haven't seen the Iron Claw movie yet, it came out last year. Go and see it because it's incredible. And the Von Erichs, despite the tragedy, are a very interesting family. We're just trying to get them up to the star level status in Japan that their former family members have. However, that's all for the pre-show. Let's get into the main card. So, starting off the show, probably not the best way to start the show. We have a sit-down interview between Kevin Kelly and Will Ospreay. Kevin Kelly did not come out this looking good and was held back by the language barrier, which sucks. I would assume they can have the interview in English and there can be Japanese subtitles so the Japanese audience can understand. But as far as I'm aware, there's no way to put that into the game. However, this is just a sit-down interview with Will Ospreay asking why. Why did you do what you did last night? In which he would say something along the lines of, it was always the Okada show when it came to chaos. It was always about Okada first and everyone else second. Okada would throw everyone under the bus if it meant he could stay the top dog in New Japan. And Will Ospreay, he wasn't going to put up with it anymore. Everyone else is too loyal to Okada. They're just going to sit back and let him do whatever he wants. But not Will. He aspires to be more. He aspires to be in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. And if he has to cut ties with Chaos to do so, then that's exactly what he's going to do. We're trying to ride the wave of Will Ospreay. Obviously, that elbow to the back of the head of Okada was definitely a statement, which we definitely need to capitalize on. And a 53 segment rating is not how to do it, but I wasn't expecting great things simply because of the language barrier. But moving on to our first match of the night, a 68 rating, with Kenta defeating Toru Yano in around 15 minutes. This is our technical match. Kenta, ever reliable when it comes to a technical masterclass performance. With a 72, defeating Toru Yano. There's no story. I guess it plays into the Bullet Club Chaos thing a little bit. We obviously did have Kenta in that big Shibata storyline, but with Shibata being fired, that is no longer the case. We're just going to have to figure something out. But yeah, a decent match to start the night in terms of in-ring action. And the Bullet Club, once again, standing over a Chaos representative. In the following match, the Bullet Club members, Jay White, the current leader, and Carl Anderson take on Great Bash Heel, with obviously the Bullet Club beating GBH. We kind of wanted a Chaos lot in here, but we didn't have the members, not ones that would make sense anyway. So we used GBH instead. Both guys were free tonight, so we had them. They were just really fodder for Bullet Club. Jay White head and shoulders above everyone else. Tomoaki Honma was the weak link, with a 43, which isn't really weak, based on where I'd expect Honma's performance to be. But Jay White with a 72. Carl Anderson matching his last night performance with a 55, and Makabe with a 60. 64 rating. I wasn't expecting that to do as good. I was expecting probably 58-ish, simply because I didn't have faith in GBH. That was my mistake. But the Bullet Club come out on top, and after the match, Christ, this did not do well. 49, that's really bad. But there is a promo in which Doc Gallows, Jay White, and Carl Anderson approach Will Ospreay backstage. They obviously have good things to say about Will Ospreay. They completely agree with his sentiment from earlier on in the show. Okada is selfish. And if he ever needs someone to rely on, he knows where to find them before they hand him a black t-shirt. The black t-shirt's rolled up, so we don't get to see what's on it, but we know what's on it. It will be the 2 letters Bullet Club. And then they leave with Will Ospreay looking perplexed. We'll call it that. He's looking perplexed. It wasn't the greatest segment. Jay White, we need to keep on a script. Doc Gallows, we need to keep on a script. And both guys struggling with the language barrier. Not the greatest. But with an all-Gaijin group like this, it's a problem we're gonna have. We're just gonna have to deal with it. But Jay White looked good. The storyline has lost heat, unfortunately, but we move forward. At least it's advancing, and hopefully we can repair the rating with the next few matches. The first of which is a wild brawl between Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Evil, with Evil defeating Tenzan in around 10 minutes. Obviously part of the New Japan Cup. Evil with his performances breaking into the 60s. Great for him. It's an all right match. It's not the greatest, but it's better than I was expecting. Evil kind of definitely carrying the match, which is strange to say. We did say in the last video that we had a segment between Evil and Hiroki Goto, and if you go back and watch that the video with the the tournament graphic up, it was meant to be Evil versus Hiroki Goto, but I messed up with the pre-booking and I accidentally swapped Tenzan and is it Tenzan and Bushi? No, Tenzan and Goto. Swapped them the wrong way, and it was already in the tournament setting, not just the pre-booking. So I kind of just had to run with it. Otherwise, I'd have to rebook the whole tournament, which would have been a bit of a hassle. So Tenzan and Evil facing this week, and Goto will go on to face Bushi later on tonight. But, spoiler alert, Goto versus Evil is going to happen. I'm sorry, I burst your bubble. Wait, is it? It might not. Pretend I didn't say anything. I should probably cut this out, but just we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, because I'm a bit lost right now in terms of, because I have messed this up. That is my apologies. We'll see who goes on to face who. This is the match I was talking about. Hiroki Goto defeating Bushi in around 14 minutes. Both guys very similar in terms of performance. I wasn't expecting Bushi to do that well. I was expecting Goto to do a bit better. But overall, they put on a hell of a match. Another speed versus power kind of match. This time, power comes out on top with Goto advancing in the tournament. We love to see it. I love Goto. I mentioned it in the first video. It was great to see him win the big one. This win is a little less major than winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but Hiroki Goto advances in the tournament, defeating Bushi in a solid match. Next up, in another solid match. None of the matches tonight have been overly spectacular, but Kota Ibushi defeating Taichi in around 15 minutes. Obviously, Taichi advanced because of Tanahashi's injury. Tanahashi will be out, I think, for 3 months. So Kota Ibushi is fighting with Tanahashi's spirit and advancing in the New Japan Cup with a win over Taichi. It's not the greatest match, but with Taichi getting a 46, I'll take it. Obviously, Ibushi massively carrying the match. Ibushi might be our best in-ring worker with a 78. There are some guys who haven't had much chance in-ring. Tanahashi, we didn't really get to see much of him because of the injury. Naito still hasn't had a match yet. So he might not be our best in-ring performer, but so far, I believe he is. In terms of other notes, Miho Abe doing some good ringside work. Taichi and her have great chemistry. We get Miho on more shows. Who's going to complain? Definitely not me. And I believe in our final match, is this our final match? This will be our final match of the night. Shingo Takagi defeating LIJ stablemate Sonata in 20 minutes with a Made in Japan, stealing the show. Same rating as the last match. We definitely picked the right winner with Shingo in the 60s, Sonata in the 50s. Sonata really offers games, so they could have easily had the same rating, I believe. But Sonata, the lights were too bright. Both guys visibly tiring before the end, so we need to keep them at around, I'd say, the 18-minute mark instead of the 20. But the match got the crowd buzzing and left it hot. It was hot. The overall show, though, a little worse than last night, but overall not too bad. I believe uh, we've definitely had worse shows. That being said, like I said earlier, we didn't have a standout match. We didn't have a match that stood out and was like, wow, that's carried the night. All of the matches have just been very solid. 69, a 69, a 68, 64, 63. They've all been just solid. A worst match, Evil and Tenzan, which, it's not really surprising. It's not. It's not. We're obviously not losing popularity. We would have gained popularity in Canada and the oceanic regions. I checked this out from the last show. The popularity increase is coming from Europe. So we clearly don't need to upgrade Europe anymore in terms of viewership because that's working just fine. We do need to get to work on everywhere fucking else, though. But that's a story for when we have a little bit more money. Need to get our money up, and then upgrade New Japan World that little bit more. However, that is the end of the night and the end of night 6 of the New Japan Cup and the end of the second round of the New Japan Cup. I'll put up the brackets right now so you can see just how advanced it is. See who's going through from the second round. This is completely up to date. What you're seeing right now, you'll see who's facing who next. We've got some big matches. I believe this is where we'll see Hiroki Goto versus Evil and Ibushi versus Takagi. I believe that's the brackets, but I don't have the thing in front of me right now like you will have. So I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, this will be cut out the video. I hope. But that's to come. Big matches to come in the next few shows. But that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you're excited for the storylines. I hope you're as amped up about Will Ospreay's heel turn as I am. A rather big heel turn, as you can see by what we've done with this show. We've based a lot of it around Ospreay's situation. But we'll learn more about that later on. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all enjoying TEW IX, TEW 2020, whatever saves you're doing. I hope the game's working out for you. But I will see you in the next video. Peace.